Today's lesson is called Robert Pattinson's Return to Mainstream Movies. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
My name is Roger, and today we're talking about movies and celebrities and famous people and stuff like that. We go nuts for people like this. And, you know, even I could go nuts for this fella. If he were to come to Taiwan, boy, would I be screaming my lungs out to go down and see his public appearance, to try to get his autograph, or to pose for a selfie with him. Boy, that would be one of my most valuable possessions in the world. Who is this person that I'm going nuts for? Well, it's Robert Pattinson. He's such a handsome fella. If I had a son, I certainly would want my son to look like him.
Yep, if I had a son, I would want him to be a handsome fellow like Robert Pattinson. But here's the thing. I'm not so excited about how handsome this guy is. I'm excited that he's back. For a while there, he kind of went away. He was out of the limelight. Maybe he did, a small movie here or there. But hey, he has returned. And not only has he returned to the big time, to mainstream movies, blockbusters. I believe he's going to be the newest Batman even.
Wow.
How about that? Anyways, folks, with that, let's go ahead and take a short break. But when we come back, we'll start talking about Roger's favorite actor, Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson's return to mainstream movies. After being thrown into the limelight for his role in the popular Twilight film series, Robert Pattinson withdrew from the public eye and spent a number of years working on passion projects. Recently, however, he has decided to return to big-budget movies.
大家好，第一部分我们看到动词 withdraw 指退出、脱离、撤退、提取。例如After hurting his leg, the runner withdrew from the race. 那位跑者腿受伤后便退出比赛。或是 Robert withdrew his bid on a house. Robert 撤销他对那间房子的出价了。
Okay, so we're talking about Robert Pattinson's return to mainstream movies. And we're talking about movies that are seen by lots and lots of people. I guess you could describe them as blockbusters, maybe even Hollywood blockbusters, movies that are popular all over the world. So that's what a mainstream movie is. It's not a movie or a film that you're going to see at some small little theater in Soho in New York City or something like that. It's not going to be an art house movie or some kind of avant-garde picture by some French filmmaker or something like that. These are movies that lots and lots of people pay lots of money to see in movie theaters all over the world. Perhaps you did see the Twilight films. Those are mainstream movies, as are the Marvel movies.
Anyways, let's go ahead and start reading from our article. The first paragraph begins by saying, after being thrown into the limelight for his role in the popular Twilight film series, Robert Pattinson withdrew from the public eye and spent a number of years working on passion projects. So he was thrown into the limelight. Earlier I said he is returning to the limelight, but before he was thrown into the limelight. That means for some reason or another, all of a sudden, you are the center of everybody's attention. You are super famous.
So yes, he was in the limelight for a while there because of the Twilight films, but then he withdrew from the public eye. and he spent a lot of years working on passion projects. So here we've got the word withdrew, which is the past tense of the word withdraw. That just means you pull out. You no longer participate. There were a number of classes I took back in university when I decided to be, what was it? I was a geography major for a while there, and I took a statistics class, which was way over my head. I had no idea what they were talking about, so I withdrew from the class and later changed my major. It was just too difficult. So yeah, I pulled out of the class and did not get a grade for that class. I withdrew.
There you go. And Robert Pattinson withdrew from the public eye. He stepped away from the limelight. He didn't really want to be famous. And what did he do? Did he stop making movies? No, he spent a number of years working on passion projects, the things that he wanted to do. Recently, however, he has decided to return to big budget movies. So there you go. He is now going to return to big budget or mainstream movies. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
The actor rose to fame in a very short amount of time. Born in London in 1986, Pattinson first appeared on stage at a local theatre club at the age of 15. He was immediately signed on by an agent who recognized his talent. After a couple of bit parts in films, he landed the role of Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire in 2005. But Pattinson's big break came when he got the part of Edward Cullen in Twilight, released in 2008. Pattinson was cast in the role, beating out 5,000 other candidates, because of his chemistry with female lead Kristen Stewart. The Twilight movies became an instant pop culture sensation, and Pattinson suddenly found himself becoming one of the most recognized actors in Hollywood.
第二部分我们看到单字 candidate 这个字是名词，指候选人、应试者、求职者。例如 Only a few candidates in the dance class were chosen to go on tour with the theater company. 舞蹈班上只有几位候选人被选上跟剧团一起巡回演出。或是 Of all the candidates, Rose was the most qualified for the position. 在所有求职者当中 Rose 最符合那个职位的资格。接着我们看到名词 sensation 指引起轰动的人或事物，知觉，像是 Star Wars was a sensation when it appeared in 1977. 星际大战在1977年上映时引起轰动。或是 As I walked into the room, I had the strange sensation that I had been there before. 当我走进这个房间，我莫名觉得自己来过这个地方。另外，这个字的字尾加上 al 就成了形容词 sensational 指极好的、绝妙的。我们可以说 We visited a sensational vegetarian restaurant on our last day in the city. 我们那座城市停留的最后一天去了一家很棒的素食餐厅。或是 Ryan did a sensational job on the sales presentation. Ryan 把业绩简报做得很棒。
Okay, let's continue to talk about the life and times of Robert Pattinson. He was popular for a while, as we said in the first part of our lesson, because he was in the Twilight movies, but then he withdrew from the public eye to work on some passion projects, but then later he decided, hey, I'd like to be a movie star again, so now he's back in those big budget mainstream movies. So the actor rose to fame in a very short amount of time. He became famous really quickly. Rose to fame here is the past tense of rise to fame, which means to become famous, basically. It's a phrase. Born in London in 1986, Pattinson first appeared on stage at a local theater club at the age of 15.
There you go. He's already acting at the age of 15, and it's apparent to a lot of people that this guy's got some talent. So he was immediately signed on by an agent who recognized this particular talent, the talent of Robert Pattinson. By the way, an agent is someone who kind of works with you as far as your business is concerned. This person represents you, might negotiate contracts for you, and kind of handles the business end of your life so that you can be creative, let's say, if you're an actor or a musician or something like that.
Or you could be an international spy like James Bond. You can be a secret agent or something. But in this particular case, it's a talent agent or somebody who works to get jobs for actors. So he signed him on, and after a couple of bit parts in films, he landed the role of Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire way back in the year 2005. So if you have bit parts, you have small parts in movies. A lot of famous actors had small roles in movies many years ago before they became famous. So he had some bit parts in films, but then he got a big break here. He was actually a major character in a Harry Potter movie. Cedric Diggory is a major character in those stories.
There you go. He's already associated with one big movie franchise, Harry Potter. Well, get this. Next, he's going to be associated with another huge franchise. It says, but Pattinson's big break came when he got the part of Edward Cullen in Twilight, released in 2008. And yes, this became a huge franchise there in Hollywood, the Twilight Saga.
Yeah, I think that's about vampires or something like that. So he got this big break. I guess being in the Harry Potter movie was, a good opportunity, but the big break was actually when he was in Twilight. And Pattinson was cast in the role, beating out 5,000 other candidates because of his chemistry with female lead Kristen Stewart. So, yeah, lots of people wanted that role. There were 5,000 other people competing. They were candidates for that role. Of course, if you're a company and you're trying to find someone for a position, say of a regional manager or something like that, you're going to interview various people, and those are candidates, the people that you are considering for the job, but usually only one person gets selected.
Yeah, so basically, he was number one. He was better than 5,000 other candidates. Now, why? Because apparently he had chemistry with the female lead of this particular movie, which is quite important. If two people don't seem to get along on screen, or it doesn't seem plausible that they're falling in love or anything like that, it's not going to make for a good movie. It's going to make for a boring movie. So here, when we say that he had chemistry with female lead Kristen Stewart, we're saying that the feelings that they portray on screen, they make sense to us. They feel like they're actually falling in love, sharing certain emotions, so on and so forth. That's what it means to have chemistry with a person.
And you can use that when you talk about dating. Maybe I've been on dates with women before where there just wasn't any chemistry. She was a nice person and everything. Maybe we had a nice conversation and a nice meal, but we didn't really have a lot of things in common, so there just wasn't any chemistry there, so we did not go out again. But he had some chemistry here with the lead actress, Kristen Stewart, and the rest is history. Now, the Twilight movies became an instant pop culture sensation, and Pattinson suddenly found himself becoming one of the most recognized actors in Hollywood. So I guess because of the movie, he was able to ride on the coattails of this movie and become famous as well. Because the Twilight movies were famous, he became famous too. This movie was a pop culture sensation. And sensation, of course, is something that is sensational. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. Everybody knows about it. Everybody goes crazy about it.
Everybody's talking about it. It's a sensation. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up the first portion of our article on Robert Pattinson.
Appearing on billboards and magazine covers, doing worldwide publicity tours, and being followed everywhere by fans and paparazzi, Pattinson found himself disillusioned by fame. Stardom may have been exciting, yet it came with a complete loss of privacy.
第三部分，我们看到单字 billboard， 这个字是名词，指大型广告看板。举例来说 ，We're going to have billboards to create brand recognition。我们会用广告看板来建立品牌认知度。再来，我们看到名词 publicity， 指宣传活动、媒体或大众关注。例如 ，A lack of publicity is responsible for the product's poor sales numbers。该产品因为缺乏宣传，销售量不佳。或是 After so much publicity about the film, it is sure to be a hit。在经过了大量的宣传，这部片一定能成为热卖片。接着我们看到单字 paparazzo， 这个字是名词，指狗仔队，复数形写作 paparazzi， P-A-P-A-R-A-Z-Z-I， paparazzi。例如 The movie star is hiding from the paparazzi outside the restaurant。那名电影明星正在闪躲餐厅外面的狗仔队。最后，我们看到形容词 disillusioned， 指梦想破灭的、大失所望的。例如 Monica is growing disillusioned with her job because the work is repetitive。 Monica 对自己的工作越来越失望了，因为工作内容一直重复。
Okay, let's take a look at the third part of the lesson for today. And of course, a lot of us would like to be famous, a star of the screen. We'd like to be very, very famous, of course, and be recognized everywhere and be hounded by fans for autographs and selfies and stuff like that. But that was not the case with Robert Pattinson. I guess he didn't really like the fame, at least at the beginning. So here in the final paragraph it says, appearing on billboards and magazine covers, doing worldwide publicity tours, and being followed everywhere by fans and paparazzi, Pattinson found himself disillusioned by fame. I guess it just didn't work too well for him. He just didn't really like it. If you are famous, you have fame, so you will appear on billboards, which you see here in Taiwan. These big advertisements that are outdoors. A lot of times the billboards are for new apartment buildings or things like that. Luxury apartments or something. You see lots of billboards for those kinds of things. But I guess in various other countries, his picture was on billboards, and he was also on magazine covers. He probably was featured on websites, and he also did lots of publicity tours, going on tours, meeting fans in order to promote the movies he was starring in.
There you go. He was on billboards, magazine covers. He was doing these worldwide publicity tours, and on top of all of that, he was being followed everywhere by fans and also the paparazzi. Yeah, the paparazzi. Those are members of the press that follow celebrities around and take pictures of them night and day. And yes, Pattinson thought, you know what? This is just not worth it. I thought that fame was going to be great, but in fact, it's the exact opposite. I don't like it at all. And yes, this is the process of becoming disillusioned. Oh, I was going to be so famous and happy, but actually I'm just working all the time and being followed by fans and paparazzi. This fame stuff, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, there might be people here in Taiwan who decide to move to Taipei from the center and south, but they get disillusioned with big city life. People are selfish, they're cold, the pace is too fast, so they get disillusioned, they get discouraged, and they move back down to wherever they're from, down in the center part of Taiwan. So here, of course, he was disillusioned by fame. Stardom may have been exciting. Yes, you've got lots of ladies trying to meet you and stuff like that. Yet, it came with a complete loss of privacy. So, yet here just means still. It is true that stardom is exciting, but you lose all your privacy, which means you can never be alone. There are people around you all the time. You might go crazy.
You might just go crazy without any privacy. You're always in the public eye. That would be terrible. All right, folks, with that, Today's lesson on Robert Pattinson is now in the books, and it's time for you guys to hear from the Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第二部分提到 Robert Pattinson 打败了其他5000名试镜者，得到了暮光之城里面的角色。好，文中是用到 candidate 这个单字来表达候选人、应试者或者是求职者。好，那我们来学习它的字根哦。我们看到 candid C-A-N-D-I-D 这个部分呢，在拉丁文当中是指白色宽的外袍。古罗马男子他们会穿一种很宽松的长袍，叫做托加长袍啊，或者是罗马长袍。那么在公家机关求职或者是竞选公共职位的候选人，都会穿着比较亮的白色托加长袍。于是 candidate 后来就引申用来指应征者、候选人。好，那么 candid 这个部分呢，在现代只是用来当单字去形容是坦诚的、率直的或是直言的。那我们再看到后面的字尾 ate， 在这边是当名词字尾去表达什么什么的人。我们就来补充一下 ate 当名词字尾的用法，它主要会有2种意思。一种是指说从事某行动或者是执行某个权利的人或是群体。那么另一种用法是指说具备某个职务或是阶级的人的一群人。好，那我们这边就来补充2个也有这个名词字尾 ate 的单字哦。第一个是 delegate D-E-L-E-G-A-T-E。好，这个字呢是由 de 表示 from 或是 away， 再加上 legate 这部分表示教宗使节，然后把2部分结合在一起，这个字面就带有这种背负使命前去某地的人的语义。那如果我们来拆解它的字首、字根、字尾，你就会看到字首 de 表示离开，字根 leg 表示法律或是合约，那么字尾 ate 表示什么什么的人。好，那要离开去别的地方谈合约的人，通常就是代表着公司啊、政府或是某个组织的人。我们用这样的方式应该很容易联想到 delegate 这个名词，它就有代表、会议代表或是代表团团员的意思。那这个字当动词念作 delegate， 它就可以表达授权、委托、委派的意思。好，第二个补充的是 electorate E-L-E-C-T-O-R-A-T-E。 好，我们来看它的字根 elector E-L-E-C-T-O-R 这部分表示选举人。好，那么 A-T-E 表示什么什么的人，把它合在一起 electorate 它就表示选民。好，要特别注意的是这个字是集合名词哦，它是用来指可能是某一国或者某一区的全体选民。好，那么课文第二部分的最后一句，它就写到说 Pattinson suddenly found himself becoming one of the most recognized actors in Hollywood。Pattinson 突然发现自己成为好莱坞最受认可的演员之一。然后我们再看到课文第3部分有一句写到 Pattinson found himself disillusioned by fame。 Pattinson 发现自己对成名这件事感到失望。好，那这2个句子呢，都是用到 find oneself 加上受词补语来表达发现自己处于某种状态。那么 find 在这边是表达发现、发掘，而它的受词补语可以用现在分词或是形容词或是介系词片语等等。像文中就是分别使用了现在分词 becoming 还有形容词 disillusioned 来当补语用。那么 disillusioned 就是用来形容幻想破灭的、梦想破灭的、大失所望的。好，那我们来造2个例句哦。Katrina often finds herself daydreaming。 Katrina 经常发现自己在做白日梦。When he awoke, he found himself in an unfamiliar room。 当他醒来的时候，发现自己在一间陌生的房间里。那这边补语就是用介系词片语咯。好，以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Mainstream. Pop music might not appeal to you because it is designed for mainstream audiences. Withdraw. As Bob grew older, he withdrew from his friends, preferring to spend time alone. Agent. Our agent in Seoul is responsible for dealing with all of our Korean business. Candidate. When our company advertised a new job in its media department, more than 50 candidates applied. Chemistry. You shouldn't agree to a second date unless there is chemistry between the two of you on the first date. Sensation. The author was excited to learn that his book had become an immediate sensation. Publicity. There has been a great deal of publicity surrounding the criminal case. Privacy. The photographers ignored Tina's privacy and took pictures of her in her home.
Well, everyone, today's article has come to an end, and I sure hope you guys enjoyed reading and learning along with us. I am Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.